Okay, now we're recording.
Okay.
All right, so,
Interest rate.
huh?
It
No,
was-
I guess something else I want to talk about first.
Okay, go on.
Because this is like our test. This is like introducing the world to,
Us-
us solving the world's problems and
I love
so,
optimism, the world. I mean, can we just talk about introduce us to few
our
people?
local world,
All
our
right,
local little
okay.
world. All right, so I have told the folks about you, and so this is my introduction of you to
Yeah.
folks that help with the video production and all that stuff. And they're really nice people, and I've told them about Abe, and the whole thing was, we talked about maybe doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them that, you and I have been friends for many years. You know how long we've known each other?
2009.
9?
9.
Okay, I thought it was, yeah, 7, 8. So 9,
Actually,
you're
no,
probably
I'm
right.
sorry. Before that.
I think it's 7,
Yeah,
08
07.
time
Yes,
frame,
yes,
somewhere around
yes.
there, I
You're
thought.
right. You're right, because it was before the crash.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's
right
a long
around
time.
right
Yeah,
around the
yeah,
crash is, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, so we've known each other a long time. But I shared with them that we get together, at least once a month. We enjoy a cigar together. It's a hobby that we both enjoy, and that we commiserate and talk about mostly real estate stuff, mostly real estate business. But sometimes it gets off into tangents, and we, solve the rest of the world's
Mm.
problems.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the real estate industry is one of the top 3 tier in the GDP market. So yeah, I mean, it's naturally it's a
Yeah,
lot of money. So
yeah. So it's affects a lot of people's everyday lives.
yeah,
So anyway, um, that's what we talk about.
I think it was $3.5 trillion from our GDP last year.
What?
Real estate,
3.5 trillion out of the GDP.
yeah, contribute to our GDP. Yeah, that's a lot. So
All right. So,
so nice meeting you all.
and what did you want to talk about? You want to talk about? We'll do one
Well,
subject here,
okay,
so
let
they
me
get a
introduce.
flavor for how we banter.
Uh, well, we talked
So,
about the title lock. You saw that.
no, we talked about that.
Yeah.
What you were just going to bring up?
That was that. And we were arguing about interest rate. That I don't believe the interest rate is problem for home buying. I think if you look at it, the cheap interest rate, okay, it's a perpetual counterproductive cycle, right? Think about it for a second. When the mortgages were around anywhere from 8, 10, my first mortgage was 10.5, right?
Years ago, you said.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was 10.5. And not long ago, it was 6, 7%. So, I mean, it's not really that big deal. Like we got hooked on the low interest rate. But what happened is when we got that low interest rate, consumers bought payment. They didn't really buy value. They bought a payment. And all of a sudden now, housing prices is being inflated based on the payment value, not the value of the home. And thus that created this perpetuated cycle of rising home cost, right? And low interest rate. And now we're feeling all right.
Right.
If I had to come into the market and I'm forced to actually buy a house based on market value at that time, and my interest rate was 10% to 7%, then I'm a good buyer. It's going to make the pool of people smaller of buyer, and thus it will actually push the housing cost down. I digress on that one. That's just something I
Okay,
just
but
came perpetually on it.
that's been a topic of conversation for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
and the cost of housing has not gone down at all.
No, it has not, because you think about it for the first time, if you look at an average house in the US, it has far the insurance and taxes and the property taxes has far exceeded the actual payment,
Mm-hmm.
mortgage payment. That's never been heard before. Never. And the other issue is the affordability is it really has nothing to do with the interest rate and any of that stuff. We just I mean
Yes, it
you look,
does.
well look at it in
I mean,
19
look, if I looked at a house 2 to 3 years ago,
okay.
knowing I could get a 3% interest rate and I could afford that house, that's where I developed my wish, my want, right?
True.
But if I didn't buy it right away and the interest rates kept climbing, now I can't even afford that house.
No,
I
but
can't afford it at all.
no, you cannot. But you did originally. It's like y- the low interest rate literally pushed the value of the homes up, right? Because
True.
now you can afford it. But it's like saying, okay, I got I got abandoned somewhere in the desert or abandoned somewhere, and I have no other food except I'm gonna start eating my own food, basically. And then it's like, okay, well, crap, I have to go find help. I need my feet to walk, but then I also need to eat. It's really a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's a
I mean
really
that's
terrible
analogy,
explanation.
and yeah,
Okay, so
but
but look, if I developed the taste for what I wanted a couple of years ago, and I went, you know what, interest rates are starting to rise, I'll wait, which was a mistake because it just kept rising and rising and rising. Now I can't afford what I want, what I, and in many cases, what I need. People move for a reason.
yes,
Not many people move just for the heck of it. They move for a reason. So
yes,
think of if somebody 2 to 3 years ago starting a family,
yeah,
they're in a 2 bedroom, 1 bath house. Okay. They at that time they get a 3% interest rate and they're like, oh, this is the kind of property that I want. All right. They didn't buy at the time. Now they can't afford what they wanted. But now they've got 2 kids or 3 kids. They're still in that 2 bedroom house or whatever, one
yeah,
bath house. But I think one of the changes that we're seeing right now is, and we've seen it, I would say after the first of the year, we started seeing it, is that's loosening up. People are basically biting the bullet. I think they're just tired of waiting. First of all, they're waiting because now they're in that home. They're cramped in that little home. And they're like,
yeah,
look, the
yeah.
rates aren't coming down. It's time to go ahead and make a move. Let's bite the bullet. Let's do what we've got to do to get the
Well,
house we need.
well, those are two school of thoughts. You can't really say that because if either I can afford it or I can't afford it. If I can afford it, then I should buy now. And the people that can afford it and want to wait, they may buy the bullet and
No,
buy now.
no,
But
what
we're
they're doing now is they're settling for less. They can't,
okay. That's okay. That's a different
right.
class. As
They
we
can't get the house that
so
2 years
yeah,
ago or three
yeah.
years ago at a 3% interest rate that they could get. But now they're tired of waiting for the rates to come down. And they're going, look, we got to get what we can
Yeah.
because we can't live this way anymore.
Look, I'm still not going to blame the interest rates. Okay. Although, as far as why people are not buying or selling, although I blame the interest rate for perpetuating the inflation of home value. However, though, having said this, people can pay cash for homes. A lot of one third transaction or cash. So it's not
Sometimes
the
more.
interest rate.
Right.
Yes. And sometimes it's more. But that and in you'll find yourself reluctant. Okay, even though cash buyers are not really going into cash because two things have happened: insurance and taxes. The property taxes in the US have been inflated at a rapid pace by almost 100% in 5 years, right? 100% in
Go on the
5 years.
table.
Okay.
You
Oh,
shake it.
sorry. Yes. So think about that. I can pay cash for my house, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. But I still have an endless payment of taxes and insurance.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to understand that this is the culprit, and that's throughout the whole entire US, not just here, because there is flood events, there is
Yeah.
tornado
Earthquake
events, there is
and
fire events.
all that
We
stuff.
got issues, right, with the
Every place has
insurance.
got something. Every place has something.
So again, that's also self-perpetuating problem. The home value goes up, so the insurance that
Sure.
goes with it, because they're insuring more. I mean, it's pretty terrible. But we could do something about the taxes. What if I tell you in 1934, when we used to do the homestead exemption, right? The homestead exemption was $5,000 in the US. In Florida, I'm sorry, not in the US, in
Before.
Florida, right? But the home value of that day was $5,900.
Yeah.
It's 86%.
Yeah.
Today, our homestead exemption,
It's 50,000
50,000.
and the home value is 500,000.
So
Our
do the
median home
math.
price is between 450 and
Yeah.
500,000 in this area.
Okay.
So
So that's
it's a small
10%
fraction. Yeah.
versus 86 or
Yeah.
89%.
Yeah.
That's a problem,
Yeah.
right?
And interestingly enough, we now have politicians in the state of Florida talking about eliminating
Which they
property
should.
taxes,
They
which
should.
is great.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. There's plenty of money coming in. Okay. And all we have to replace, by the way, is $2,000. That's it per person. That's it. I did
Okay. Because I
per
see what you're
capita.
saying, per capita.
That's it.
It's not
It's
based on
really
homeowner per capita, it's a
it's
couple thousand.
it's really not that hard. And okay, so I don't care if we're or not, but it's not really that hard. They're like think about also what they're not seeing. Okay, their intended benefit of eliminating the sales tax. First of all, you're not gonna need that big payroll in the tax collector's office because you're not having to collect that. Also, there's another benefit to that. You are not having to displace anyone out of their own home. You don't have to sell the tax certificate. You don't have to do tax deed auction. There's so many social and financial benefit from eliminating that that we actually, even though I'm telling you we need $2,000 to recover that,
Yeah.
probably if you apply all that
The
social and
offsets.
economical benefit, it's
Yeah.
probably a lot less. So that means maybe 2% on the tax sales, okay, and the sales tax, I'm sorry, instead of now
Yeah.
someone in the house want to cut the sales tax. I mean, that's the stupidest thing. That's moronic, actually.
No, I mean, we're
reduce the
we're
sales
we're
tax.
blessed by having,
Tourism.
millions of people visit Florida every year from other parts of the country and around the world, that it's easily replaced with a slight increase in a consumption tax or a sales
Right.
tax.
And here's
Right.
another thing. Property tax, okay, is not a fair tax because you're my neighbor. You're paying more than I do because I've been in the house a little bit longer than you or bought it in the right time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Civic organization don't pay it. Churches don't pay it. Non-profit don't pay it. Veterans don't. Well, some veterans don't pay it. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people that don't pay the
There are exemptions
taxes.
to it. Yeah.
Yes, there's so much exemption out of it. It end up being one lopsided on the middle class. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
I mean, it's not. It's not totally not fair. And besides, why taxes should be on a phantom value? Okay, so let's talk about 2008 crash, right? Housing market went up to the roof. I remember my home, my property taxes were like $13,000, right, at the time when I bought them. But and I paid it for a long time. But the market went down. Okay, my taxes went down with it, but I didn't get refund for the taxes I already paid that a value that I never realized. I'm
Yeah.
still in the same home.
Yeah.
It's a phantom value.
Right.
Okay. And besides,
Yeah. Until it trades, till it sells,
yeah,
it's phantom value.
that's another thing. Okay, you know what? Charge us sales tax on the buy and sell the real estate. You can recover some of that money. They already get a lot of money from the I mean from the taxes that we pay on a transfer
Yeah. The
deed.
dock stamps.
That's
Yeah.
just a lot of money. I
It
mean,
is. We're already charging us.
two point
Basic
seven
sales tax.
percent, yes. So add it to 3%, and now we can recover that money. 2% on the sales tax that will solve it. We only need to replace $55 billion.
Only 55 billion.
It's not a lot in the scheme. We're 23 million state. 20 million.
Yeah. 23 million people live here,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know, millions and millions of visitors.
Yes, it's
Not replaceable with the
yes.
consumption.
Yeah.
I think we've solved this problem. So
I do. I would, honest to God, listen, I'm passionate about this. I hope this will go out because I'm totally passionate about the idea that we have to have a fair tax and think about how many people we will not have to displace. Okay, if we don't sell the property from underneath them,
yeah.
dude, we will solve. Okay,
Wait,
so
who are you selling the property out from underneath? What are you talking about? You talking about renters?
no,
What are you talking about?
anybody that doesn't pay their taxes after 3 years, we
Oh,
as the government have the right to sell that property and pay the
no, yeah,
taxes.
okay, yeah,
And then we're going to give you a voucher to go rent somewhere else.
yeah,
I mean, it's silly. The process is silly,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so there's in my I'm not formally educated or educated about homelessness or any psychological thing, but in my opinion, there's only two kind of homeless. Okay, either financials and everybody else, right?
Okay.
That's the only way you can become homeless. Either financial, you don't have the means to pay for your bills, but for some whatever reason happen, and everything else, which is could be addiction, could be
I think
sickness,
the vast majority of homeless are addicted. The vast majority. Statistics show that.
okay, then
Because even if it's a financial reason, you can get assistance. If it's purely financial, you can get assistance and you can have a place to live.
okay, well maybe those people we can solve their problem because you know what? If I was having a bad year and I was not able to pay for my power bill, I can live on rainwater and I can live on a candlelight, but I'm not allowed to do that because if I don't pay my taxes, I will lose my home.
True. In essence, you're always renting. So long as the property taxes, you're always renting a part of your home.
It's yes.
Yeah.
It's a perpetual lease. I like that word.
Perpetual lease.
Yeah.
You're always renting.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well, the
So
buzzards are circling, so we'll end this first test of a
we're
potential
we're not professionals.
podcast.
You have to disclose that this is our opinion. We're not educated in this.
We're just shooting the bull.
Yep, that's it.
We're just shooting the bull. It's yeah.
Yes.
Don't take any of this to the bank.
Yeah, two old guys.
Just two guys been in real estate too long, spouting off about what we think. That's it.
But the time to buy is today. The time to sell is today. The better time was yesterday.
Yeah, the best time to buy was 20 years ago.
No, yesterday.
Whatever.
The point is, you can never time the market. No one can ever time the market.
You cannot time.
It's a crapshoot. Everybody
Yeah.
tells you that, but
I
it's
had
not
that,
true.
I had to talk with a client today. You know, we're getting ready to list their home. Is this the right time?
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
the right time is when you're ready.
Yeah.
When something in your life is happening and it's causing you to want or need to move. That's the best time to sell, best time to buy. That's all there's to it.
I mean, think about it. We've been in Pinellas County for I don't know how long. Unheard of. It is on like statistically speaking, for the last 100 years, we have not had a flood here, major flood or a major hurricane.
So
So
recently.
yeah, until recently, right? So how could you like? I mean, like, okay, so I have a real couple. This is a real story. It's heartbreaking. They're getting up in age, literally getting up in age.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, guys, we need to sell. Need to get you to an assisted facility, like independent kind of thing. There was one in Dunedin. At that time, we could sell their home for $2.5 million. Easy. Flooded.
Yep.
Can't sell it. And if we do sell it, probably going to knock $1 million off.
Yeah, in its current state.
Yep. So when
yeah.
was the best time to sell? Yesterday.
And by the same token, I have clients that have had their homes damaged, out on the beaches, and they talk about renovating. I guess they're considering it, but they're not encouraged by it, and they're like, no one is ever going to buy my house if I renovate because they didn't go 50%.
I see. Yeah.
They're under 50%, so they can renovate their ground floor. And they say, but the problem is if I do that, no one will ever buy this house in the future. I said, yes, they will. They said, well, why do you think someone will buy it? I said, because we still have thousands and thousands of people moving to Florida every year. It's almost a thousand people a day on average moving to Florida. And you have people up north that want to retire. They want to retire to a warm climate. They're going to come to Florida. We have a lot going for us, our climate, no income taxes, so on and so forth. So there's going to be someone who has saved up to buy a home on the beaches or whatever, and they can afford, I told this client, so if you renovate your home, it's probably going to be worth about $2 million. There's going to be somebody that comes down here that is going to be able to afford $2 million out on the beach. New construction is going to cost them 3 to 4, maybe, and potentially even more. They don't have the budget for that.
No.
But they have the budget for 2 million.
Yeah.
They're going to buy your house. There's always going to be a market. Always going to be. Now, there's risk involved in anything you buy, right?
Yeah.
So is there a little more risk in that? Yes.
I mean, look, in the Tampa Bay area, would you risk it every 100 years? Sure, you can.
Well, that's the thing. If it was truly a 100-year storm like they described it,
But it was technically, unless there is another one.
yeah, unless there's another one,
But then
who knows? I mean,
all will go away. I mean, statistically speaking, it's 1 in 100 years
yeah, well,
since 1927.
yeah.
Okay.
There's no guarantees in life. That could happen again. You don't know. Anything can happen.
Well, we take risk on driving it. Again, once you get out of bed, as a matter of fact, the minute you get out of bed, you start your risk cycle. You could slip and fall,
That's true.
right?
Anything can
So, I
happen.
mean, you can't really say that, but the point is,
But the other thing
the-
about it is, and it's just like anything in life, time heals. Time heals.
and we'll forget.
We'll forget, or I guess we'll forget some of the severity of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, what happened here was really bad.
It is bad. It's
But
devastating.
a year from now, we'll be looking back and going, yeah, it was bad. We got through it. We got through it. We're okay. You know, things are getting back to normal. You know, it's going to take a year or two before they get back to more normal. But time heals. It doesn't matter if it's a hurricane
Yeah,
or if it's you fall down
yeah,
and hurt yourself. Time heals everything,
yeah.
and
And
it will this too.
we're blessed with short memory, so
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I think for this test we
okay, that's
gabbed
that's
enough,
fine.
so we'll
Gab
call it here.
along.
Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.